Hey, this is Josh, and this is a little glimpse at my life on the road on this last tour.
What's up, Big Daddy?
I'm reporting for duty. And I don't mean duty, I mean duty. My summer has been unexpectedly busy. And the summer tour for me was like the icing on the cake. It was just more people than I'd ever played to in my life on tour. And the fans were incredible, and just the energy and the rush of being in a different city every day and being able to perform for the fans for the first time in those kind of venues was so much fun. The band. Zachary Provost. I've known Zach, he plays piano and he's our music director.
We're gonna have, among other things, a good show.
You know, right off the bat, he was just, you know, a young guy, he had all this energy, and he's just so talented as a writer himself. And we clicked right away. He's a really cool guy.
Welcome to Dallas, y'all.
Welcome to the show.
Dallas has been good.
Everybody loves Tim Curl. Tim Curl is on percussion and vocals, and he's a little madman.
You too did it. TC's doing it now.
He is, he's got tons of energy, and he's probably the strongest guy on tour. Tim's great, and he's one of the most talented percussionists around. Craig McIntyre, Craigie Mac, is Scottish heritage, and I love his family because whenever they come to the shows, they always do a little bit of that.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Get it away from me.
And Craig was the last person that we brought on for the tour, and we were looking for drummers, and he came in and blew everybody away.
We're gonna rock Kiss style, and I don't mean like the old stuff. I'm talking lick it up. That's the real stuff.
Eric Holden is another guy that we had right kind of at the beginning of the tour, and you know, he's just the master of the low notes. He's just the best bassist I could ask for.
Oh, hi. Hi, welcome to the Tarek Show. Today we're performing in Vancouver.
And there's Tarek Akoni. How can you describe Tarek? He's too much metal for one hand. He is an extraordinary human being, and I'm not just saying this. I mean, as a guitarist, he is one of the most versatile players and just one of the most talented guys I've ever worked with.
It's my mojo.
And beyond that, he's just kind of just the nicest and most the sweetest guy that you could work with. He kind of acts as a bodyguard sometimes because he's very large, and yet he can be like a little child. He can have the the humor of a little baby. We've got lots of incriminating footage of Tarek on the tour bus after a few sips of Grandpa's cough medicine.
Can you get with this?
Lucia Micarelli, who we found during the rehearsals of the tour, and she's rock and roll to the core with intensive classical training, and she's exactly what we were looking for in terms of somebody who was not only, you know, young and beautiful, which was a plus, but you know, she could just play. She could just play her ass off.
Stop it!
She could recite any one of the huge classical pieces that takes years of practice, which she has, or she could jam, you know, on any rock song or any pop song, and just, you know, plug in the electric and go crazy. She's so musical, and and since being on tour, she signed to 143 Records, and I was able to executive produce her first album, and we're all very, very proud of her. She's great. Jimmy started goofing off, and now I'm completely unfocused, and the show is ruined. I could not have more dedicated, more talented, and more optimistic and positive guys as I have around me with this band.
Please, no cameras.
They're pretty crazy. they're the guys that help to relax me.
You have to help me. You're getting it.
You're fired.
If I'm ever feeling like things are getting too serious or too stressful, or if I'm just not in a good mood, I'll go hang out with them, and I'm guaranteed to get back in the spirit of things and have a good time.
15,000 people waiting to see you.
And we also get a local high school choir every night, which is fun because you never know what you're going to get. And you know, it's really cool to kind of work with different students every night.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just let your hair down. If you forget a harmony, just pick one and yell it. Just you know, just lots of fun, lots of energy, lots of volume, and just, you know, you might just turn your mics off, so you're gonna have to reach the back of the house.
It gives them an opportunity to come on stage and feel the energy of the audience, and for me to, you know, feel the energy of having them up there, and it's a really cool thing. So talking to them beforehand and then talking to them afterwards is really an interesting thing, because beforehand they're kind of nervous or a little bit shy, they're a little bit uncertain about whether they can really do it or whether they want to do it, you know. And then after the show, it's just this like, whoa, you know, they're thrilled.
You guys feel good? Yeah. Great crowd. They love you. Oh, thanks. They love you guys.
And it's the energy that is so exciting for me to see, because when the bug was planted in me to start doing music and to start thinking to myself, I have to do this or there's nothing else, you know. That's the kind of energy you have. It's the feeling of, you know, I can do it, and this was just a taste, but I want more. I'm going to keep studying. I'm going to keep working, you know. So it's been really cool to work with these choirs and to work with the kids, and it's been one of the pluses to do that at the end of every show.
Yo, no, you're gonna learn something, boy. You're gonna learn something. We gotta go.
Jimmy.
His hat reeks of authority.
Are you coming?
I'm losing track of time. Tour does that. You lose your mind and your sense of time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm a little tired. I'm sorry.
The tour bus definitely helps you get into that mentality. You're kind of in a time capsule, and you're finishing. You're saying thank you, good night, and you're jumping, and the show's over, and then you're on the bus. You don't really know for how long you're going to be on the bus. You just know that you're on the bus, and it's time to start a movie or have dinner or get into bed and go to sleep. And when you wake up, you don't really know how long you've been driving for, but you know that you're in a new city. And that's exciting. There's something comforting about that. There's something very routine about the travel and the tour bus.
I'm already exhausted, depleted, deflated, excited, retarded.
And travel to me has just been such a blessing. And so to be able to you know, take a road trip around the country and around the world has been one of the major perks of the tour for sure.
Good show, good audience. Little rain, little sweat. Off to Tyson's Corner, Virginia, to rest and have another day off.
Downtime, I would say that 99% of the time I'm working on my golf game. Yeah, no. Hey, look, whenever you've got a swamp behind a venue that allows you to hit golf balls into it, I'm going to take a few swings. I'm going to take mostly misses, but I'm going to definitely attempt. By the way, they didn't shoot, or maybe they did, the one that I hit like 300 yards. I put that ball in the tee. I had like 50 whiffs, okay? Then I had the one where I hit the top of the ball, and then I hit the cement and went into the water. And then they went, hey, Josh, maybe you got the wrong club. Why don't you try this? And it was a Big Bertha driver. And I said, all right, time to go swimming. And I swung like bejesus, and I hit the ball very hard. And it was perfect straight. It was like a miracle upon miracles.
I've never played.
Backstage, it's a hellish nightmare of chaos. Absolute pandemonium that seems to come together 5 minutes before showtime, which is always nice.
Call the house lights.
House.
Okay, they can go. Band's ready.
When you're walking to the stage with everybody and you put in your earpieces and you know, the rumble starts at the beginning of the show, and huddling with the band, and we're giving ourselves a pep talk, and we're hearing the crowd, you know, as soon as they say, you know, house lights down, and the lights go out, and the crowd goes nuts. You know, it's they don't show you that in theater school, you know. It's that ironically, the most relaxing moments of any given evening are on stage, because all of a sudden everything's under your control again. You know how to, you get a vibe for the audience right away. You say, okay, you know, what do I need to do to get them standing by the end of the concert, you know, and you take it from there.
Okay.
Before the show, you haven't yet, you know, met the audience. You don't know who's out there. You know, you're warming up in your room. It's sounding good out there, but you know, you never know. Some nights I'm absolutely feeling like crap backstage. I have got like sniffles, or I feel tired from the night before, or I've got a little bit of a sore throat coming on. I just, you know, so many things can make me neurotic backstage and make me a crazy person.
On a steel horse, I ride, because I'm a riding stone cowboy. And that's the end of it. Oh, there's a camera in here.
DVD extras.
And then I'll go out on stage, and it'll be like, oh my God, that was one of the best reactions I've ever had. That's fantastic. You know?
Okay, if you like the shows, then you say, what's up, what's up? If you don't like the show, then you say, ich don't think so.
And then some nights, I'll feel like I'm like a machine backstage. I'm just like, let's do this, you know? And then I'll go out on stage, and I'll lose my focus for a blip second and forget a lyric or something. So, you know, and you walk off stage going, God, should I never feel good before I go on stage again? Should I, you know?
That was really, really freaking hard.
Backstage beforehand, I'm usually just warming up and, you know, being very careful about what I eat so I don't, you know, hawk a loogie on someone in the front row. And I did burp once on stage. I drank about half a can of Mountain Dew before starting the first song, because I don't know why. I felt like maybe I needed the caffeine or something. And right in the middle of Perte, I let a little baby burp out into the microphone. It was kind of like, Sento nell'aria il profumo di te. And I looked around the audience to see if people were laughing or snickering or, like, did you hear what I heard? But they were still very attentive, and I thought, okay, moving on. Drums are exciting. Sometimes singing a slow song in Italian isn't as exciting as it should be. You know, I always know that no matter how the audience is doing, when I go back and start playing the drums, it'll be a kicker to the show. I love playing the drums. I'm very sad that I only get to play for 5 minutes every night, because I just, you know, one of my biggest dreams is to play in a band and just put the voice to rest for a minute and just get behind a kit and just play the drums for a little while. You know, I get a great deal of pleasure out of playing the drums. I've loved the drums, you know, before I even knew I could sing.
Why do I do that? Makes me so hot and stupid.
Sometimes you're in a city and you wake up and you're like, where am I? What's the name again?
Ready to rock. The Rich Field. No, that was where we were last night. Where are we today?
Where the hell are we?
Where am I? I can't tell where I am. Am I in
Texas? You know, and you're like, I didn't even know this place existed. Okay, you know, fine, all right, you know, whatever. And you go out on stage, and it's just like some nights it's just the coolest, craziest crowd you've ever heard of. Some cities that, you know, were unexpected for me. You know, Ames, Iowa was rock and roll. That place like was through the roof. Omaha, Nebraska. You know, we walked in there not knowing what to expect, and we walked away, you know, loving Omaha, Nebraska, because they, again, were just through the roof.
So, dude, we're in Chicago. It's rockin'. Rockin' like with a capital R.
The Chicago show that we did out in the Shed was probably our largest audience at about 18,000 people. And so that provided an energy.
Ay, 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 ay. That was funny.
And then I remember walking to the bus and getting on the bus, or closing the door of the bus, and getting ready to go, and still hearing the crowd going nuts. And by that time, they're probably like halfway to their cars for most nights. You know, they want to beat traffic and everything. For whatever reason in Chicago, they were, you know, I probably should have like ran out of my bus and, you know, taken 10 minutes to go back out on stage and done another encore. But, you know, we were out of there, but we didn't expect that there to be such a huge response. So We love you, Chicago. I don't understand this. I guess the people sit here, and the stage is here. Red Rocks was amazing. It was almost like a mini vacation because we were right out kind of in the middle of this mountain. No room for a mosh pit tonight. And you're so high up and the air is so thin. If we're a mile high, they're going to be 2 miles high. And you just kind of get this head rush because it's just so fresh, and looking at the pictures backstage of the people that have performed there, and I had never seen a show there, but I'd always dreamed of performing there one day. It was a dream come true for all of us. The band, especially, was having just a blast up there.
Red Rocks, baby. What can I say? Something just dropped on me.
My dressing room had a giant rock in it. The dressing room was built onto the rock, so you know, you had a TV and then a giant kind of mountain behind you before the wall hit. We just did Red Rocks, I guess. If that's what that was, I guess that's doing Red Rocks. So. Concord, California. Probably the record for most gifts given to me on stage in a single performance. I had Hawaiian leis put over my neck, at least 3 of them. Signs were thrown up at me, like dolls were thrown up at me that night. At one point, a woman came up to the stage and handed me 8 little baggies with names of each band member on them. And she literally, I was right in the middle of introducing a song, and she says, "Pass these out to the band right now. The names are on them. Go ahead, pass them out." All right, you know, the audience was like, "Pass them out, Groban." You know, so I passed them out to the band, and it was like 15 minutes of just kind of gift giving, and that was interesting. My parents were in the audience by fluke that night. They drove up to Concord, and it was fun. It was fun. You know, the Greek in LA tops all of those because it was the last night of our summer tour, and it was in hometown. You know, it was right near my house, and it was taped for PBS, and it was in such a historic theater.
Thank you very much.
I'm just kidding. It is intimidating. You know, if fans know it, I get stage fright, and I still, to this day, you know, get very nervous about places, especially that big. It's funny, you know, I get more nervous about singing for 3 people in a room than I do for singing for 10,000 with a mic system and in a big set and a stage. You know, there's something very comforting about the fact that you're in a world and you're bringing people into that world, and the largeness of it for me is more of a comfort. I feel more comfortable.
Scared?
Shut the gate. Relax. It's not going anywhere. Just relax. Relax.
You know, meeting the fans after the show is I wish I could have done more of that on the summer tour. You know, we did that in Camden, New Jersey. I remember it was a big crowd that showed up did that. You know, at the Greek in LA, I made sure to go out and talk to fans. Whenever I can, I do. It's been many months and many shows, but it's gone by faster than I could have ever thought. Overall, you know, this tour has been one of the greatest moments of my life, and it taught me so much, and I learned so much just about myself and from the fans, and it only left me with the greatest of tastes in my mouth about touring and about music, and I can't wait to continue going on the road. And I can't wait to continue making music, and all because of these experiences, performing and meeting with the fans. So thank you all for making it the time of my life, and for making it as exciting, as enjoyable as it has been. And I will see you all on the road again very shortly.
See ya.
All right, take out them lights.
It's rock and roll time.
We in Houston, fellers. One more time. Let's go out there and let's try not to poop ourselves all over the stage. It's good. It's good.
Now it's a tour.
Threw up a little in my mouth.
Rock and roll, baby. In Ohio.
We're gonna rock them. We're gonna rock them clear out of Michigan.
There's no sound coming out. And yet I'm playing anyway. Because I'm crazy like that.
Where the hell are we? Kelowna, maybe British Columbia.
Las Vegas.
Best show, best yet, best.
This look here. This ain't no weapons. What about these guns? Huh? He's right here. Hey, what's some of that? Get off.
I'm just gonna pass out. I'm sorry.
I'm tired. All right, see you later. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you very much.